Today on DNVR Buffs, live from Media Row here at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, Louisiana. We have a former NFL GM on the show. Why is Jake wearing that jacket, and where the hell was Scott all morning? Let's get it. Let's go!
Squad! Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Live from New Orleans, set Radio Row, Super Bowl 59, DNVR Buffs Live. We're presented by our friends over at Bet365, the best book in the game. Download now. You can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Use the code DNVR. Shout out Bet365. What's up, boys?
I feel like this music just perfectly encapsulates how Scotty's feeling right now.
Yeah, for sure.
This is exactly how my stomach feels and sounds absolutely right now. But we live, we outside, we in New Orleans, we in the Big Easy with it, man. Day one is in the books, night one is in the books.
Yep.
I'll remember it a little bit for sure. You feel me? But yeah, we out here, man. Starting with a bang. Let's get it.
Oh man, what a night! What a night that started with us saying, all right, let's just go get some dinner, keep it low-key, maybe have a after-dinner drink, get in and, get a nice, good night's rest before we start Media Row all week.
It sounded good.
It sounded great. We were so committed to this, in fact, that we had a huddle. Todd Davis, former Super Bowl champion himself.
Yeah.
Broke us down in a huddle and said, all right, we're going to keep it low-key tonight, but Tuesday night, that's when we're really going to pop off. And one thing led to another, and
I was fine.
You were fine. You kind of crashed out when you found out you had to wear that jacket on the show today.
Because this is grade A bullshit.
Bro, you kind of quite literally asked for it. First off, before we really get into
no.
Kinda.
I got played like a fucking fiddle. That's what happened.
I'm dead, bro. First off, bro, we really appreciate you being a good sport about this.
Yeah,
you definitely the freshest one up here. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro, that thing's dancing.
Diamonds dancing for real. But, I mean, should we get into it? We were at a store right on Bourbon Street, right, with a lot of New Orleans kind of themed gear, obviously. And this number in particular just kind of spoke to us. Mm-hmm. And we asked Jake, a game that I'm familiar with, you're familiar with. We played it in college. Apparently, they didn't do that in New Mexico.
Nope.
They just don't do that in New Mexico. But it's called What Are the Odds, right? So pretty much you ask somebody, hey, what are the odds you go, shake that guy's hand over there, for example. And somebody in Jake's position would respond, 1 in whatever number.
Yes. Can be any number based on what you think the odds of you actually doing that are.
The higher number, the least likely you are to do it.
Yes. Once you pick the number, you count it down, and on 3, you and one other person both say a number.
Correct.
If you guys both land on the number, that means the odds have spoken.
You got to do it.
You got to do it. So now that the game has been established, Jake, and do you want me to tell this side or do you want to tell your side of the story?
I'll just say what you just said right now is more explanation than I got last night.
I feel like we
definitely gave that explanation.
No, you
the
didn't.
rule
No.
book,
I just think that you weren't as much of in a position to accept information.
Facts.
That was 100% true. Do you want to hear from my side exactly?
Okay, well let me finish it, and then you'll get your chance.
Okay.
So, Jake, I said, Jake, what are the odds you wear that jacket on the show tomorrow? He's like, I don't know, 1 in 100.
I said,
which is a good number to pick. It's a good number to pick.
Go ahead.
What? You didn't say 100?
No, take it. I'll tell my whole side of the story.
All right,
You just go.
So Jake says 1 in 100. I said, okay. All right. We go 3, 2, 57. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? You have to do it on after 1. 3, 2, 1, say the number. And Scott chimes in. He's like, now that you broke the rules, it gets cut in half. So now it's 1 in 50.
Yep.
We try it again. Jake jumps the gun again.
Yep.
We're like, all right, now it's down to 25.
That's very clearly byline 53, line A of the What Are the Odds rule book.
It is 100%. Page 3.
Seriously.
And so now it's 1 in 25. We go 3, 2, 1. At the same time, we both say 13.
Sure do.
Scotty and I lose our fucking minds.
I'm rolling because quite literally what did I? Yes. Y'all said the same.
So then I gotta get the lady to take it down.
Yeah.
From the top of the store, pull it down, and I bought it with my own money.
Real one.
To make sure that this could happen on the show today.
Okay.
That's it.
For one, I think your account of the story was pretty accurate.
Okay, I'm glad.
I'm not saying it wasn't inaccurate.
I'm saying.
Okay. Information was withheld, though.
Okay, go ahead. Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks. So we're out on Bourbon Street. We end up at some place called the Swamp, I think.
Oh, yeah. Swamp was swamping.
And we got some swamp waters, I think is what they were called.
That was a mistake on your part.
That was
Massive
a mistake, but we were intrigued by the sign, so we all got them. Anyways, after the swamp waters, I am feeling great. And we are fumbling down Bourbon Street, and Todd sees this store, and he just points at it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I see all this crazy shit in there, and I'm like, all right, let's just go stroll in then, sure. About 2 seconds into me getting in the store, I've got cups that are shaped in
phallic,
definitely body parts being shoved in my face.
Oh, my God. Okay.
They're throwing it at me. RG and I are laughing about another one. And then Allie looks over at the shirts. What?
She's catching strays.
Allie looks over at the shirts and she goes, "Oh, let's go play the T-shirt game." And I was like,
"What's the T-shirt game?"
I don't know.
I've never heard Allie say that.
No,
More information is coming.
fill in the
No,
blanks,
please, come
Allie.
on.
What are you even saying right now?
That's what you said last night.
What did I say?
Let's go play the T-shirt game when we were in that store.
No, I didn't. I said
What'd you say?
should do odds are what shirt you would wear, and if you lose, then someone has to wear the shirt.
Period.
I did not
That
say
is not what she said. 100% not.
I was the one who was sober enough and went home. You were blacked out.
No.
So
All right, now there's too many accounts. There's too many accounts.
I remember.
Let Jake finish his account.
You said, let's play a T-shirt game. I was like, what the hell's the T-shirt game? So I walk up to you guys.
I don't know what a T-shirt game
Hold
is
on.
either.
Let him go, please.
So I walk up to you guys, and you're like explaining it, and then you just go, what are the odds you'll wear that on the show tomorrow? And I go, I don't know, 3 out of 10?
Oh, yeah, he did say that.
And then you're all, no, that's not how you do it. And I was like,
That doesn't make any sense.
okay, I didn't know what I was doing. I obviously didn't know what are the odds or whatever the hell it is.
Okay, so what you don't know is what are the odds, because he just said you guys called it the T-shirt game too, so he just didn't understand odds are. That's
Much
the
we know for
situation
sure.
here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also you call it what are the odds, we call it odds are.
Odds are.
Okay. Yeah, we call it What Are the Odds.
Or
so
just
that's
odds.
what you don't.
Okay, anyways. You
So
did say 3 out of 10, which actually would have made it easier for us to get it because we got to have 3 chances out of 10.
Hey, I'm going to leave, but it turned out to be great content, so you're welcome, everyone,
And
because
he's
you lost.
fresh
and
as
we're-
hell up here.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah,
Thanks,
you're right.
Allie.
You did say 3 out of 10.
So I say 3 out of 10, and you go, no, you gotta pick an odds.
Yeah, you got to
thing.
play the game, bro.
And I was like, I don't know, 100, I guess. And first off, everyone goes, no, that's crazy. Why 100? I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but okay. And then someone tells me, pick a number. So I just say, all right, 74. And you go, whoa, not yet. Not yet. Cut it in half. And I was like,
No.
I still don't know what's going on. And then I get told to pick a number again. I say it after the 1, 2, 3, but then you guys tell me, no, he waited for Arcade to say it, blah, blah, blah. So then you cut it in half from there. And then I had no idea what was going on, so I was just like, fuck it, 13, halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
And then all of a sudden, these guys are just bawling, laughing. He's going to wear it on the show.
That was an iconic moment, bro.
What is going on?
All right, I think your account was actually pretty accurate too.
Yes, it was. I didn't know what was going on.
I'm dead, bro.
It was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Have y'all ever seen the movie Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Do you remember a character in it named Sergey?
I think so.
I think TZ said in chat that Jake looked like Sergey from Beverly Hills Cop. And that is so accurate / hilarious with his jacket on. Y'all out there, go look up Sergey from Beverly Hills Cop.
I did get Finesse King Mars. Thank you.
Facts.
But you know what?
You did. That's actually kind of like in the spirit of Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
People get finessed down here all the time.
Period.
I mean, what else was I supposed to do?
Look fly as hell on the show.
So here we are.
Like I said, the jump, bro.
Scotty, why don't you tell us about your night?
We appreciate you being a good sport. I mean, bro, it was one of those ones. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been in New Orleans in some years. You know what I'm saying? I was about 18 last time I was here, so first time is above age adult. And yeah, bro, we had some fun, man. Like we said, I was definitely walking in lockstep with the plan of, it's first night. We're gonna take it easy. I had been warned multiple times, particularly by you, to take it easy. It's a long week. You feel me? Marathon, not a sprint. But it all sounded good.
He was looking out for you, bro.
He was. That's why I'm like, I can't even, bro. He had been telling me this weeks in advance, and I'm like, bro, I got it, bro. Like, we gonna be good, bro. Why would I even? You feel me? But yeah, I mean, one thing led to another. A lot of fun was had out there on Bourbon Street, and a cigar was involved. That couldn't have helped.
No, I think that was the combination of
That was the
swamp water
catalyst.
and a cigar really did you in.
The swamp water story is crazy, too, by the way.
No, Ivan, I did not get drunk off 2 margaritas. No, it was a lot of foolishness going on. But, swamp water, bro. And I feel like that was your idea. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Alyssa.
No,
that was your idea for sure.
Okay, it was, but it was a joke that turned into. I literally saw it on the screen.
Sounds familiar. Joe turned it into surreal.
I saw it on the screen, and I turned to RG, and I go, "Do you want to try some swamp water?" He goes, "I'm down if you are," and I was like, "All right."
But then, correct me if I'm wrong, you ordered 4. For some reason, she poured 5.
This is true.
And then I don't think she quite shook it up to mix the ingredients.
The bartender
because
had
all of
issues.
your guys' swamp waters were different
100%.
colors.
I got
and
the worst
I think
one.
Scotty got all of the liquor.
100%. 100%. And our bartender was in probably bad shape too as she was pouring those drinks. She was not in her right mind. But such is life on Bourbon Street.
Yep.
Super Bowl week.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cigars also took us out another hour or 2.
Yeah.
Because we were like, all right, someone was like, let's go home. I'm like, well, I got this half of this cigar and I need a drink to have along with it.
I do remember you saying, I need some whiskey with this.
I skipped on that.
On the cigars?
It's another great decision I made last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good decisions are overrated.
So what happens tonight then? After all that last night?
Well, so I was thinking about this, and we can tie a bow on last night right now. I think we did this right because we're not going to, tonight, everyone's going to be tired. We're working until 9, 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. We'll do the smart thing, make a good decision, head home from there, and then we get a recovery day. And tomorrow's the media party, so that's when we crank it back up to 12.
Media
100%.
party I thought was Wednesday.
Tuesday.
I'm ready. Scott, are you ready
No.
for that?
No.
He'll be good.
I'll be ready when it's game time, though.
Yeah.
Right.
He's young.
Period. We bounce back.
Anyways, that's the first night for DNVR Buffs in New Orleans. It was quite the evening.
We got to make odds you'll do X on the show a part of this whole week.
Swear.
I mean, as long as I know the rules moving forward,
Also-
I'll do a lot better. I promise that.
I left that store with this, which was pretty sick.
That is dope.
Thanks, Allie.
We got his ice on.
Yeah. A Buffs Mardi Gras bead. Who knew that would be in there?
That's crazy.
Great store.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I'm getting cooked.
I told you we could kill some time talking about last night.
Grief,
You're getting
wildin',
cooked by
bro.
who? The chat?
The chat. Yes. All right. Break. Then interview?
Yeah. We'll get to the meat of this thing.
Whoa.
Take our first break. Shout out to the homies over at Bet365. We're out here at the Super Bowl. The last football game for quite a long time. So get on over to Bet365. Sign up with the code DNVR365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 or more today. Ahead of the Super Bowl would be what I would recommend, because if you do that, you get $150 in bonus bets directly into your account. Again, deposit $10, place a bet of $5 or more to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. It can be used on spread, totals, player props, futures, and plenty more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. If I was going to have a drink tonight, which chances are low, I would want a Breck Brew. Just a nice, flavorful beer to just, cool out on. Go to our little rooftop at our complex here.
Yeah.
Have a Breck Brew. That sounds amazing. And if I were going to do that, I would hop on, go to breckbrew.com, use the beer locator, type in that we're in New Orleans, Louisiana, and see where the nearest one is. And I bet you if I did that, I would be able to find an ice cold pack of vanilla porter or maybe some Avalanche Amber Ale that we could enjoy on the rooftop. So no matter where you are, use that Breck Brew locator at breckbrew.com to find out where the nearest Brecks are to you, and enjoy yourself a delicious Breckenridge Brewery beer.
All right, we spoke to former Colorado Buffalo safety Solomon Wilcots. We had him on the show last year. Got to catch up with him, talk Travis Shedeur, 24 and 25 Buffs.
None of us were wearing Buffs gear today. I wasn't even wearing this. Oh, I guess I am under here.
Travis shirt, yeah.
But as soon as he saw us, he was like, oh, some Colorado Buffalo. Like he remembered us from last year, which I thought was dope.
It was dope. So here's Solomon.
All right, we're here with Solomon Wilcots, former Colorado Buffalo. We'll get into Travis and Shedeur in the NFL draft, but I just want to ask you your reaction to seeing the Buffs get back to a bowl game, win 9 games last year.
Look, I was just happy to see us be relevant again, and then this year to really be competing at a very high level. I wish we could have had better outcome in the bowl game, but it's just nice to see that the program is on good footing and playing well, being competitive and producing talent and giving players an opportunity to play at the next level.
Looking at these guys and seeing Colorado have 2 guys who could very easily go in the top 5 of the draft, what do you think that does for the program moving forward?
I think it does, when we're talking about recruiting, right? We've already seen how the program has driven enrollment up to a much higher level, right? So the school's thriving as a result of what the athletic department is doing, and the football team in particular is putting more eyeballs on that program. And so more players who are competing at a very high level in high school, and they're looking for a place where they want to go play collegiately, University of Colorado, I think, is at the top of the list, along with some of the other great programs around the country. You're going to be seen on Saturdays. You're going to get a chance to play in some of the biggest games against some of the best competition. Guys who are playing in the NFL either played at CU or you're playing against them if you play for CU, and that's what you want. You want to play against the best, and you want to play with the best. And so it's a program that now is back to offering those kind of opportunities.
Solomon, I'm going to hop right in without potentially the QB1 in this 2025 NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders. What impressed you kind of the most about what he put on tape these last couple of years, and what do you think his prospects are here in the NFL?
I think he's continued to get better, in terms of working the progression, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, not taking as many sacks, leading every single possession that translates into points. Mm-hmm. That's what you want in order to be a productive quarterback. You see him completing, over 70% of his passes and creating a low interception rate. I think if you can keep the sacks down, keep the turnovers down, and turn possessions into points, that's what quarterbacking is all about. And look, I know people in Las Vegas, Tom Brady and the Raiders, they seem to have an eye on him. Mm-hmm. I hope that the planets have aligned. To me, if you are a quarterback and you're coming out in the draft, think about last year's draft class. It's not about when you go, it's about where you go.
100%.
And we want to see him going to a team, being planted in a fertile garden, being tended to by the right people, because you can't end up with the wrong organization, man, and things don't work out. And that's why you've heard Coach Prime talk about that. He wants him to just go to the place that's going to nurture him, that's going to really be in his corner. The quarterback, I don't care who you are, from Tom Brady to Aaron Rodgers to Joe Burrow, the quarterback position needs everyone's help in order to do well. I'm talking at the highest level of the organization, the coaches, the players, you need an offensive line, you need receive, you need a lot of things working in your favor to be able to do a good job at that position.
With Travis Hunter, I mean, obviously playing both sides of the ball, where do you see him fitting in the NFL? How would you project his rookie year going?
Look, I'd play him at both positions. I'm going to give him some reps and practice on both sides of the ball. I'm going to let him prove that he can continue to do this, because that's what he did at the collegiate level. Why would you take him off the field at wide receiver when he can play like that? Why would you not let him play defensive back when he can play like that? So I'm going to continue to allow him to do those things. I think we've got to be careful to watch his snap count. You don't want to plan 2,000 snaps, man. Of course, remember, the NFL season's a lot longer than college football season. So I think you are going to have to kind of, watch his workload, so to speak, and keep him healthy. But to me, he has such a joy to what he does. He brings a lot of fun to it, and his heart is into it. Like, he's passionate about what he does. And when people are having fun at what they do, man, let them do it. Let them have fun doing it. Now, you want to be smart about it, but let him, as long as he's enjoying that, let him do that. Because I think it adds value to the football team. There's no doubt about it. And he has done that, I think, at the highest level that I've seen in terms of both sides of the ball, at the highest level of anyone I've seen, ever.
When rookies come into the NFL, the phrase I hear the most is drinking from the fire hose. Travis Hunter, I mean, you've been there. Yeah. Travis Hunter is going to be coming in here. Now, he's a 4.0 student, so I don't think anyone doubts his mental capability. But how would you kind of like get him to adjust and teach him both sides of the ball if you're going to play him there?
Well, there's a lot of ways that you can do that. If you're talking about from the defensive side of the ball, I think it's just important to know that technique and winning at the line of scrimmage. Let's just say we're talking about press man coverage, right? The guy who's coached him his whole life was the best press man coverage guy the game has ever seen. Deion was a bad dude. I mean, and what Deion brought to that position, and the reason why I think he was so great, everybody talks about his speed, it was his confidence. When he stood in front of a man, never crossed his mind, I hope I don't get beat deep. Are you kidding? Never even crossed his mind. Think about you're playing with house money if you can have that mindset. And I think Travis has that same swagger, that same confidence. Playing that position, particularly press man coverage, it starts with confidence. Understanding that the offense is on the clock. It's that wide receiver, his job to avoid me, and all I got to do is not allow him to get to the spot on the field where the quarterback expects him to get at the time he expected to be there. So it's about disrupting your timing, keeping him off his spot, and you do that by jamming him. You do it by just throwing him off his rhythm. You don't have to cover the man over the entire field and defend every blade of grass. Oh, that's hyperbole. You don't. What your job is to disrupt the timing of the passing game. And they actually give you help. It's called a pass rush. So as long as he really starts to interpret what he's doing in that way, he can perform at a high level. And that's the teaching. That's kind of that's what the NFL is all about. 90% of the game is played from the neck up in terms of understanding what your role is, what your job, what you're being asked to do. And then as a wide receiver, look, man, it's about getting off the ball, getting open. He's got the speed, he's got the quickness to be able to do that. Now, the energy that's needed to do both of those at the highest level, that's really real test. Like, think about if you told him, look, we're just going to play you at one position. If that guy just got to play one position, there's no doubt in my mind he'll dominate. Now, the real question is, can he dominate playing both positions at the NFL level like he did in college? That's a hurdle, and that may take some time.
Definitely. RK mentioned that you know firsthand what it's like to be a rookie in the NFL. Cincinnati Bengals drafted you. Colorado's defensive coordinator in 2024, the new defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston, obviously came over from the Cincinnati Bengals, coaching the safeties, but you played in the NFL.
That's right.
How impressed were you with the job that he did and kind of helping turn around this defense here?
Day one, man. Look, hey, I'm going to tell you what Rob did. Not only did he turn around our defense for the CU Buffs, he left the Cincinnati Bengals defense a wreck after he left, man. We getting torched all over the place. Coach, you got to come back, man. I love you being a CU Buff coach now. Yeah, helped us out over there, but man, so that tells you just how good of a coach he is, right? Like he was sorely missed in Cincinnati, but definitely made up for it in terms of what he did for the CU Buffs defense. And look, that's why Prime went and got it, you know.
Next year, 2025, this season coming up, new quarterback competition going on. What do you see for this team, in year 3 under Prime?
There's going to be some competition at that position, right? And, Prime going to be like, look, 2 dogs, 1 bone, man. You go get it. And whoever goes and get it, that's what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see just how they develop as a team with new leaders. That's important.
Right. This is a little off the beaten path from the conversation we've been having, but I think like the coolest place you can be in media is in a production meeting leading up to a big game that you're calling. I'm curious, like, when you go back to those experiences, what were some of the cooler things and maybe like common threads you found when you talked to, the best players in the NFL?
No fear, man. Got to have enough confidence in what you do, no matter who you're going up against. And that means you got to be really good and sound in terms of your technique. You got to know your opponent really well, right? Got to study your opponent to know what it is they do and how can you stop it? How can you attack it? But it really starts, I think, with just confidence. Confidence is so important no matter what we're doing in life. But when you're in sports, man, your ability to know, that's what separates players. It really is. There's guys who are not as talented as the other guy. You wonder, why is this guy so good? He doesn't leap as high, he's not as fast, but he's still dominant. You might have someone who's not nearly as big. And you say, why is this guy getting more sacks for the other defensive end who's much larger, but why isn't he getting the sacks? It's about the mind. To me, that's what separates you and your ability to be a competitor no matter what the situation is. You can be down by 14, you're still competing. You can be up by 14, you're still competing. And the coach isn't telling you what to do. Those kind of, the great ones have that as part of their own DNA. Just telling you, man, the confidence, the how-to, and the intensity in which they bring to it, right? They're trying to win every single down, every single play, every single game.
All right, Solomon Wilcots. All right. See you, Buffs.
All right, baby. All right.
Go Buffs.
All right, guys.
Appreciate you.
All right. Nice talking with you guys.
There he is.
Great insight.
Yep. Main takeaway for me is how much he talked about the mental game. And I have no doubt in my mind Travis and Shedeur have the mental side to make it work.
I completely agree. And it's one of the things that – it's kind of why I asked him that question at the end. Because I feel like and for those of you who don't know, what I'm referring to is like if you're calling a game, which Solomon did for many years as the color commentator, you get to have these meetings with the coaches and the players the night before the game, sometimes 2 nights before the game. And they really tell you a lot to be able to give you the best opportunity to call a great game. They might tell you, hey, we got a fake punt in. Yep. Here's how it looks. Which, first of all, you got to have a lot of trust in those broadcasters to be able to share that information with them. But I just feel like if you get an opportunity to sit down with Tom Brady one week and Peyton Manning the next week and whoever else the week after that, you just what I would assume is you just realize how prepared these guys are and how dialed in they are to what they're looking at. And right. He mentioned that, and he mentioned it a little bit before, but it's why we talk so much about the pre-draft process and how I think these interviews will really help a lot of these guys shine, Travis and Shedeur, mainly, just because I think they are so much further along than most players in the draft when it comes to their understanding of the game.
Yep, 100%. And, yeah, I mean, speaking of Travis, that's why I'm so confident in his ability to play both ways in the NFL. If he wants to do so, which I think we all believe that he does, assuming he goes in the right situation, the coaching staff who will allow him to do that. And it's obviously because he has the physical ability to do it, but it's also because he has the mentality. He has the mental fortitude, the high football IQ to go to multiple meetings, be a part of offensive and defensive game plans, and execute it at a high level. Obviously, we saw it, throughout his college career, but that's really just why I'm so excited to see where he ends up. And, kind of similar to how we're talking about how I want these receivers, these Colorado receivers entering the draft to go to a place with a good play caller, a good quarterback. Obviously, and we've talked about it, we want to see Travis Hunter in a place playing for a coach who will allow him to be him. And I think that's the most important thing. I think that's what he's looking for. I think that's what Coach Prime wants as well. But just from that interview from Solomon, which was great, it was great chopping it up with him. Just his thoughts on Robert Livingston and just how lucky Buffs fans are that they got one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football, and that they were able to keep him after a pretty impressive year where I'm sure he probably could have had opportunities to go elsewhere, whether that be at the college level or even going back up to the pros. What he did for this Colorado defense in 2024 after they looked, kind of lost at multiple different times throughout the 2023 season, particularly in the second half of games in 2024. I mean, we talked about it too, like, whatever the score is at halftime, it's like we feel good pretty much because we know that the opponent isn't going to do too much in terms of adding points to the scoreboard after halftime. And, again, that leads back to coaching. Obviously, the players on the field got to execute, but, Robert Livingston is, one of the driving factors behind the continued success of this program for sure.
Yes, sir.
I still think about this is just random. Maybe it's because it's media night and we had a funny moment with that other school that I'm about to talk about last year on media night. But I still think about that pick that went through Ben's hands, which I think could have gone back the other way for 6.
Yeah.
And how that could have potentially changed that game.
That was right before half, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Coach Livingston figured them out at halftime.
He did.
And had them shut out in the second half.
Yep.
And you just wonder if it's 21-7 going to halftime rather than 28-0. And they go out and score on the opening drive or whatever. It's just a totally different game.
Yeah. I mean, CU scored, 10 points in the second half?
Yep.
And it wasn't like the last drive of the game that they scored on. It would have been a one-possession game down the stretch, theoretically.
That game was so dumb. The end of that game was extra dumb.
Well, let's clown on them on the other side of this break.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to our friends over at Toyota. Toyota has a presence here, too.
They do. Have you seen that? What is that, the new Range Rover?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. It's got a sick wrap on it, too.
Damn.
X's and O's.
I'm going to have to peep that.
Or Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser? Yeah. Land Cruiser, yeah.
Someone's under the hood right now, actually, checking it out over there.
It's got like a watermark X's and O's pattern on it.
That's hard.
Looks badass, but shout out Toyota. Some of the best, most reliable, best all-around cars on the road. And shout out to their Toyota roadside assistance for helping you out if you get into a sticky situation, maybe on the side of the highway.
Thank God we don't need cars out here. You can walk to and from this place.
Straight up. If you're in Colorado, visit a Front Range Toyota store at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota Eastern Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Let's go places, and let's go find who I'm supposed to talk about, Ice Shaker.
Yes, sir.
I actually my first ever experience with Ice Shaker was at the Super Bowl with the Gronks promoting it, going around these places. Those, there's a lot of people who stop the show when they walk in here, including Coach Prime. The Gronks, of course, Rob specifically, like everyone's like,
he'll be back here.
Gronk. Yeah.
I think he's with the Wings people over there.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Anyways, shout out to Ice Shaker. You can get your team branded on the bottle. These things are great way to get your protein. Heck, you could even throw like a little tequila cranberry or vodka cran in there. Shake it up, have it ice cold at the beach.
Now we're thinking.
Sounds fire. Go to iceshaker.com and use the code ALLCITY25 for 25% off your orders. Show your support with your favorite team and have the best, most ice-cold drinks in there with Ice Shakers.
We got 2 hours of Rob Gronkowski on Friday.
Let's go.
Go crazy.
All right. Wayne brought it up in the chat,
Yeah, he
but
did.
this madness over at Nebraska is continuing. This delusion, almost, I would add.
Okay.
This
way to
is
put it.
just – Nebraska's going to cancel their spring game.
Are they actually
They're actually
doing
going
this?
to do it?
He's talking about it, but that's what he's saying he wants to do, basically.
Is this – okay, finish, and then I have a theory.
So with the spring portal coming up, I think Matt Rhule just feels like last year they only mentioned 2 players, but 2 players entered the portal after their spring game. And so Matt Rhule says that he doesn't want to do the spring game because he's scared of other teams scouting the spring game to steal players and lure them into the transfer portal. By the way, those 2 players last year were reserves.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Do you want some Matt Rhule quotes?
Sure.
He said
Those first 4 words are hilarious.
He said, I can handle anything. I can handle guys who make mistakes. I can handle guys who lose their cool and yell at me. I just can't handle a lack of gratitude.
Oh,
I can't handle guys who are ungrateful.
give me a break. Okay. So here's my theory on this. I think that Matt Rhule is just being extra dramatic to try and get a point across, which anyone who has like a friend or a significant other or whatever who does that, where they just go way over the top, and like we've probably all been guilty of it before. It completely takes the credit away from whatever you're trying to say, and like the other person on the other side just instantly rolls their eyes and just like moves on. And that is exactly what I think is happening here. I think that Matt Rhule is just trying to whine his way. Be like, we're not even going to have a spring game because everyone's going to steal our players.
His quote is, I highly doubt it about the spring game this year.
And then the other part of this is how little belief do you have in your own ability to retain players?
Yeah.
Do you think that your players are so miserable that if they get a call from anyone across the country after the spring game because they balled out, they're just going to take the first call and leave?
My thing is, do you think your players are so coveted
Yeah.
that you need to cancel your spring? Like, when we talk about that's my first reaction. Like, who does Matt Rhule think he is? Who does Matt Rhule think the Nebraska football program is?
Yeah.
Where they're just churning out guys who
Like
other
Alabama
guys,
and
like
LSU.
other guys are going to be tuning into the Nebraska spring game and be like, "Ooh, let's see if we can find us some talent here." That's not happening. And if they don't have their spring game this year, I guarantee you nobody would miss their spring game other than Cornhusker fans. So, again, if Matt Rhule, I agree with you, bro. If he wants to be dramatic for the sake of being dramatic and trying to prove a point, go ahead, bro. And I think that'll just hurt his program, too, not having a spring game, a showcase like that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is how's their AD feel about this?
Right.
Because I don't know if their spring game is free to attend or $10 ticket or whatever,
Probably
but they
generates revenue.
They definitely generate concession sales.
Facts.
And, shit talk them all I want. That fan base shows up. So
They
it's
do.
not going to, it's going to be close to a full stadium. There's nothing else to do in Lincoln, Nebraska. So you're hurting your own bottom line of the athletic program if you do that.
You think?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say, I can't find the 2 players, but I read somewhere that they were reserves. One went to, like, Boston College.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like Georgia and Alabama are out here scouting their roster.
And, Montana Lamonius Craig
Right.
might have played his way out of Colorado.
Of course. Is that your
ringer?
phone?
I don't think so. No. I do hear that, though.
Alyssa, is that your phone?
Whose phone is pinging?
Y'all see how they just try to
MLC,
blame you, though.
played his way out of Boulder potentially by having a huge spring game. Probably got himself some NIL money, and you don't see Coach Prime over here crying about it.
You think he's just worried about Rhule? You think this is what this comes down to?
The fake
tape's
5-star?
out there.
True. You're right.
Because
We saw him.
Yeah.
We saw him the whole season.
Remember how my theory was he's going to wait a year for Carson Beck to leave Georgia and then transfer back there? I actually think he played his way out of being able to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Georgia's like, nah, we're good.
No, if he entered the portal right now, who would be the best team, recruiting him?
He would land at a big school. He'd
Yeah.
probably go to Texas Tech.
Hell yeah. No,
Some more quotes from Matt Rhule. He says, the word tampering doesn't exist anymore. It's just absolute free, open, common market, and I don't necessarily want to open up to the outside world. I don't want these other coaches all being able to watch our guys and say, wow, he looks like a pretty good player. Let's go get him. To go out and bring in a bunch of new players and then showcase them for all the other schools to watch, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right, bro.
They had 60,000 at their spring game last year.
Yeah. That's and again, most schools charge a little chunk. So that's a lot of money you're taking away from your athletic program.
It says Nebraska is annually drawing one of the largest crowds in college football to its spring game. So yeah,
I'm sure.
that would be a blow
Speaking
to the
of
revenue.
Nebraska, it makes it worse that I hate that.
Someone
sound
is going
so
crazy listening to this podcast.
Speaking of Nebraska, I did something today that. What?
You told me I'm sorry, FDP. I won't call it during the show no more.
No one noticed this. We all have our credentials, and they gave us red lanyards to wear these credentials, which was just simply not acceptable for me.
Change yours out.
So I went and found. I was at Starbucks, and then I saw the sign that said Fox Sports credential pickup like this way, and I just went into that room and I was like, "Do you guys have any extra lanyards?" And they hooked me up with this black one. So
we're getting creative.
No red for me.
All right, some CU news. 2 5-star targets have emerged for the Buffaloes. The first one, your guy, actually, RK. Tyler Atkinson, a Rivals 5-star. He plays for Grayson High School out in Georgia. He played against Julian Lewis in the state title game a few weeks ago.
He is the reason why Julian Lewis does not have a state championship. He was an absolute menace in that game and was unblockable. And, Juju was already banged up, but it did not help that he was under constant pressure from really the whole team, but Tyler Atkinson the most consistent in that game.
Yep. So I'd imagine they already knew about this kid before that, but that game probably put him right in the spotlight for the Buffs. He actually had a call with Coach Prime yesterday, and he shared it on Twitter. And we got a few quotes here from Tyler Atkinson in that call. He said, "Coach Prime and I spent some time talking on Zoom. It was really dope to get a chance to just chop it up with him. Afterwards, he had to get ready for his show, which plays a big part in his recruiting. Coach Prime told me the only high school players that he recruits are those real dogs that are ready to play at the next level and serious about their path like myself. Otherwise, he is recruiting in the portal. He wants me to know that they're coming. He's going to be intentional with my recruitment and wants to make sure everything fits like a lock and key. His energy is contagious, and it really sparked my interest to get out to Boulder this spring."
Wait,
like a
for the spring game?
Maybe. Maybe.
Sounds like. Can you pull that back up again? I love that quote where he goes, Coach Prime had to get ready for his show, which plays a big part in his recruiting. 100%. Some recruits might be like, damn, he always got something else going on. You feel me? But this young man understands that this part of the reason that Coach Prime is Coach Prime, part of the reason why I want to play for him. And I think I saw somebody mention it on Twitter, like a FaceTime call, one-on-one FaceTime call with Coach Prime, that's down the equivalent of an in-home visit that everybody is crying about. Like, you feel me? And he said it there, like, one-on-one. That doesn't happen when you go to a visit. There's typically other recruits there. But being able to chop it up with Coach Prime in that one-on-one setting like that, I bet that goes a long way in his recruiting. And dude's a dog, bro. Offers from everywhere. Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, the #1 ranked linebacker in the state of Georgia, which is a hotbed for elite football players. Andrew Ivins, the director of scouting at 24/7 Sports, called him a highly productive inside linebacker that can emerge as the soul of a defense. And, yeah, dude sounds like he has the mental, like I said, the mental capabilities, obviously the physical stuff, to be a dog at the next level.
He was
Damn.
What?
22 tackles for loss.
Yeah, as a true freshman. He was the first ever he was the first ever 8th grader to earn an invite to the All-American Bowl.
Oh, bro. Wow.
That's some Juju shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
He is ranked the 10th best player in the 2026 class, the first linebacker. Some places actually have him listed as an athlete, too. So
What other position? Running back? Or I wonder why athlete. But, I mean, I think we talked about it, too. Coach Prime go get him one every cycle.
Oh, yeah.
He going to get him one of them ones, one of them 5 stars every cycle. And we kind of talked about what position it might come from, too. Like, it kind of feels like running back or linebacker would kind of be the next, in succession. He's got the cornerbacks. He's got the quarterback now, the 5-star. This would be that one for the class of 2026, Tyler Atkinson.
Yep.
That sound in the background is them vacuuming Pat McAfee's set.
This is the craziest thing
They
that's
have
going
been
on here.
setting up this set since we got here yesterday.
And it looks exactly the same.
It hasn't changed.
Why does it say live from Las Vegas?
I wonder if they noticed that they're just testing last year's graphics on there, I'm guessing. Maybe they still
Is that a
don't have-
screen, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a screen. That makes sense, though.
Anyways,
Tyler Atkinson, though, has probably the most coveted recruit so far in the 26 class. Has met with Auburn, Clemson, Florida State, Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, Oregon, Tennessee, and will meet with Alabama and Texas head coaches. And he's met with Colorado's head coach, too.
Wow.
it's funny because I was watching that game thinking I found someone. I'm like, this guy right here.
You just found the #1 recruit in the next year class.
That whole we got to get in on this guy. Diamond in the rough.
Next guy, though, is his name is Sedarian Morgan. He plays wide receiver at Benjamin Russell High School in Alabama. He's listed at 6'5" and 210 pounds.
Sheesh.
Wowzers.
He is a Rivals 5-star. He is ranked the 18th player in the class, the 3rd wide receiver. He included CU in a top 10, I believe, yesterday?
Alyssa, will you star Kevin's comment?
Yeah, I want you to address that.
Yesterday. He put CU in the top 10 with Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Clemson, Oregon, Miami. We'll see. Monster size, obviously. You know that they can recruit these wide receivers. They got 3 basically blue chippers this year.
Yep.
He might be the next, if not the next 5-star target. But 2 of them already.
Dog.
Let's go.
They're going after this 26 class.
I know, and that's what when Scott was saying, like, Coach Prime's going to get him 1. Just wait till it turns into Coach Prime's going to get him 3.
Facts.
Coach Prime's going to get him 5.
Facts.
And then everyone's on notice.
For sure. All right. We got some mock drafts, but we're waiting for our guest to arrive.
Well, and we can also do comments before the guest,
Okay.
just because the guest is coming. You know, we'll already be, 70 minutes into our show by the time he gets here.
Comments in?
Sure.
Super chats, questions?
We doing that before the mocks?
We don't. I think we are. That's on you.
Oh, we're good.
Yep. You can screenshot the.
You guys want to know something funny?
Please.
We recapped our whole night. Never talked about the fact that we ran into Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Wild.
Famous Jameis, man.
What a guy.
He's just out here. He's just one of us, bro. He's
Bro,
just one
for
of the
real,
guys.
he seems exactly like how I thought he would be, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just super down to earth and just chill, bro. Just
Yep.
a guy. Just a chill guy.
He was just talking to us like
Yeah.
normally for like 10 minutes.
So dope.
Yep. Who's he with? Was he with like?
He had a crew.
Anyone?
I don't know.
Oh, so he was just actually hanging out in the streets then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
They love him out here in NOLA.
They do.
Saints legend.
The first one's up there.
All right, thank you. Okay, to the chat we go.
Oh.
What?
No,
People
just
in the
keep
chat
going.
wilding.
Alrighty, Ivan. He asks, are the vibes better in NOLA this time around compared to Las Vegas last year? What do you think?
The vibe, I think so. And
The
sometimes
vibes
it's
here?
hard to capture the vibe of Las Vegas. Like, there's like 30 different vibes in one place, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just like, first of all, night and day difference in terms of the organization from a media perspective here. It's so clean getting in and out of here. Last year in Vegas was like you had to go through like a rat maze just to get into Radio Row. It was honestly, to leave Radio Row was like
I don't know why it's happening.
an hour-long commitment.
Yes, it was. And then that bar, do you remember we like walked out and they had that bar with like I don't know, it was like darkly lit. You had to go up the stairs, like 3 stairs, and they just had those tables and we were just sitting in those chairs for forever.
Yep. So that part alone, but I also just love the culture of New Orleans. I love the vibe. I love the hospitality. I love the people. I love the food. Vegas is great. Don't get me wrong. I like that, New Orleans has a clear identity.
Yeah. No, it was cool to be out in the city. In terms of vibe, I mean, the vibes are already capped out at like a 6 out of 10 because the Chiefs are here. So
I haven't thought about that all day.
You see what's on his mind. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
PL Zion asked, Travis Hunter going to the Giants. What do you think about that? Great landing spot, in my opinion.
I mean, Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors.
Unreal.
And then, let's just – what do? You go get Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Kirk Cousins.
Probably the best available.
Something.
Yeah, that can work.
Kirk might be finished, though.
Yeah.
Next, RJ asks, or says, fellas, as a NOLA person born and raised, go to Morrow's or Mondays or get seafood from Cajun Seafood off Claiborne. Trust me, 7th Ward all day. Thank you, RJ.
All right, bet.
RK, David wants to know what you had to do for those beads.
You already know.
Big Teasy in the house. The super chat. Did RK get them beads for his corn eating ability?
That's absolutely crazy. We don't have to read every super chat. We need a quality filter here.
Cam Duncan says, has there been a team who has produced 2 players in the top 5 from the same team in the draft before? Will CU be the first team to have 2 potential players from the same team in the top 5?
It's definitely happened before. I mean, you can think of some Alabama teams that had a couple. Probably wouldn't be surprised if there's Ohio State in there. No.
I can't give you the top of my head.
Let's dig into the archives.
I would guarantee Alabama's done it at least once.
They just don't
Georgia.
Top 5, though? 2 in the top 5?
Alabama hasn't had many quarterbacks to go that high, though.
Yeah, so Tua. Not top
Okay,
5.
so in 2020, Chase Young and Jeff Okudah went back-to-back at 2nd and 3rd overall.
There you go. Maybe
So-
a couple Georgia defenders at some point.
Yeah, when Trayvon Walker went 1st overall, that might be one. 'Cause that team was loaded.
But I was thinking maybe first team in the Big 12. Oh,
That sounds right.
what is?
Bro, what is all these?
Vibing.
The sounds are just have a mind of their own.
They really do.
All right, there it goes.
Yeah, that's the first one I saw, though.
Reef said, didn't Ohio State with Zeke and Joey Bosa too? Potentially?
Zeke didn't go that high, I think, right?
Yeah, probably not. Dallas, yeah, probably not.
What was that, 2016 NFL draft?
That sounds all right. He's in Chicago. He just passed.
You know what sucks?
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Joey Bosa
3
and
4.
Zeke, 3 and 4.
Good call, Reef.
The first ever time I was on Radio Row, it was a public area, and I thought that was so cool. Like people could just walk by. Like I wish that people that lived in New Orleans could come see us here.
That'd be dope.
It's kind of a bummer that it's just us and a bunch of squares.
What city was that in?
That was in San Francisco, which I think I learned today is hosting the next Super Bowl.
Are they?
I think so.
No, it's Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's
No,
not
that's
draft, bro.
that's not
Facts.
even. Yeah, that's next
Facts.
year's draft. So yeah, I think right over there it says Super Bowl LIX Bay Area.
That's kind of hard.
Big Beats Franklin says, Jaquan swagging on y'all asses in the Big Easy. All you need is the gold blenders and some fresh kicks. Arcane Scotty Pockets, turn your NO swag up. Get on my level.
Come on, I'm working on it.
Thanks. I'm liking.
Thank you for the super chat, Big Beats. JJ Stalwart says, will Prime do more 1v1 this season when compared to the previous season?
Not sure.
Are you talking about at practice?
I think he means first team versus first team.
Oh, I doubt it. It doesn't seem like that's his way.
Yeah, not his style.
Yep. Ivan's right. I think Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, right? USC?
Probably, yep. Where did Leinart go?
Arizona.
Well, I mean, like what pick?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll look it up. JJ also asked, any news on the new O-line coach? You guys heard anything?
No, and I mean, this feels a lot to me like the Pat Shurmur situation last year, where it wasn't like official that he was the OC. It was kind of like, oh, we're seeing if anything pops up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're happy with what we have. And I think that's the vibe I'm getting from this quote-unquote offensive line coach search. It's like if we have a perfect scenario with a perfect fit, we'll go get it. If not, we're happy with Gunner and Big George holding it down.
Agreed.
Yep. Gunner's been out on the road recruiting a lot, too.
Yep.
Facts.
That was wrong. Matt Leinart went 10th overall, but still. Kevin Dorsey says, RK, can you talk about how the Lakers are on their way back to the top? I was sick of the Nuggets having the
Great
best
question.
Euro player. Now he's ours. That's crazy.
Now, read that last part again.
I was sick of the Nuggets having the best Euro player. Now he's ours.
You do realize you didn't get Nikola Jokic, right?
I think he might have just learned that.
I know their names are kind of similar, but the Nuggets still have Nikola Jokic, and Luka is still not the best European player, so you still don't have him. Now maybe one day he becomes that, but he is not the best Euro player.
And
I have 2 thoughts on this.
Okay.
The Lakers' ability of beating the Nuggets right now just got worse. Them being able to put AD on Jokic as, arguably the best defensive big man was an advantage for them. Mm-hmm. Now they have absolutely no one who can guard Jokic. They're going to have to do all sorts of crazy shit to try and slow him down, and that's not going to work. Now, the other side of it for the Lakers is they just bought, as long as they keep Luka around, another decade of guaranteed relevance.
Top 3-4 player in the league.
Which the Mavericks are literal
Can't
idiots.
believe that. No way you wanted Anthony Davis that bad.
What's up,
There's
man?
No chance.
There's literally the other 14 teams in the West conspiring how to bring the Nuggets down with Jokic. That's what's happening.
Yeah. That's
Do the Mavs scare you at all from a Nuggets perspective? Just having, obviously, AD to throw at Jokic, Gafford to throw at Jokic.
Did you see the score of the Mavs game last night?
Bro, come on now. We know damn well the day after the Luka trade.
No,
and they was
hold on.
playing the Cavs, too.
I know. I just want to make a point here because I need this score to be able to accurately make this point.
So you're saying the Mavs going to be ass. Is what you telling me?
No. Okay, so the Mavericks lost 144 to 101 last night. Why do you think that happened?
Because they traded Luka Doncic away. Anthony Davis, who they traded for, obviously wasn't in the lineup.
Why wasn't he in the lineup?
Because the trade had just went final.
Oh, what about the next game? Is he going to be in that one?
Potentially. I don't know.
He's
I would
hurt.
think so.
He's hurt is what I'm telling you. He's not going to be in that lineup either. You know who also didn't play last night?
Who?
Kyrie. Why?
He's old.
Because he's hurt.
But when we talking playoff, bro, we talking playoff in this discussion, bro. You
Yes,
feel me?
we are talking playoffs in this discussion, a thing that the Dallas Mavericks would be lucky to make at 26 and 24, currently holding the 9 seed with a couple of oft-injured players leading the way for them. And the main point I wanted to make about them losing that game is the vibe is – it's going to be a while before they recover that vibe.
Yeah.
The whole organization is in shock right now.
Yep.
And I don't think it's just be one of those things where, like, AD shows up and they're like, oh, okay, like, Superman's here. Like, save us. It's going to take a while for them to get that back, and I legitimately think they could miss the playoffs.
Yeah, it just makes you think about what GM Nico Harrison, like, what was your plan, bro? Like, they team is really the unction. The team full of unks. With Clay and Kyrie and AD, you feel me? Like, it's kind of crazy. Especially, again, trading away a top 3 player, 25 years old, in his prime, for an aging, brittle, oft-injured
Where were
player.
you guys when the trade came through?
On my couch.
I don't remember. I remember being stunned, though.
What was your first – what were the first things that you said?
So I was just sitting playing video games, and I got the text of the tweet, and I had to read it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And all I said was Luka with 3 exclamation points or 3 question marks.
So at first I said, holy shit. And then Allie said, what? And then I checked that it was Shams like 12 different times, refresh. And then I was like, either he got hacked or the Mavs just traded Luka. And I was so convinced he got hacked.
Mm-hmm. That was crazy, bro. I mean, my instant reaction, I was kind of excited. I'm not going to lie. 2 of my favorite players in the league teaming up and be on the same team. I think it's going to be fun. I don't know how good they'll be, especially this year. But, yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Very crazy.
We got a super chat here from Big Teasy, but I don't understand exactly what's going on with this super chat, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either.
I guess I'll just read it then. What does Allie think about RK's TT challenge? Maybe she...
Is that TikTok challenge?
I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of for TT.
I have no
Maybe
idea.
she can
Texas
stop
Tech
him.
challenge? I don't know.
Maybe
Surge.
Stop it.
Maybe she... Surgeon's still my guy.
Surge's still my guy. Scotty holding it down. FDP is the queen. Excuse me.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm holding it down, so that's really all that matters, you know.
That's that
Thank
part
you,
we
Big
can
TZ.
confirm.
Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to send a follow-up to that, TZ, to give some clarification.
Scotty wasn't.
Scotty is literally and figuratively holding it down right now.
I swear. 100%.
Scotty also disappeared for a solid 2 hours earlier today, to the point where I started to be like, all
Are
right.
y'all really worried about it?
Well, I was just like, man, we haven't heard from him long enough that I'm like now starting to worry like something could have happened. I'm like, now I have to text him. Like, I was just letting him have his time. Like, He needs a moment to gather himself. And I'm like, all right, now I'm actually like, what if he fainted somewhere or some shit?
He asked me if you. He said that to me, and I was like, "Damn, I never thought of that shit." Like, Scotty might actually need our help somewhere.
I'm dead, man. I just found me a comfy spot in this beautiful convention center down here in New Orleans.
I
me time.
I appreciate you. Like, I feel like internally you're like, I can't go home,
bro.
Like, I have to stay here.
Literally,
but at
my
the same
thought,
time,
bro.
the distance between where we are right now and your bed, and the distance between where you took a nap in this building is the same distance.
Hey, bro, I swear. I'm like, bro, I should go home for maybe an hour or two. But I'm like, nah, I feel like I can't leave. I don't know. It's I can't leave. So it's all right, though. We're feeling a little better right now.
I'm excited to get you to drink tonight, Scotty.
I'm drinking all the water, all the H2O.
Polymath says, when does spring or winter practices start, not just the training sessions? They get 15 practices for the spring, including the spring game. The spring game is on April 19th. You're going to have spring break in there. The end of March, probably March, I don't have a calendar in front of me, March 16-ish.
He said the TikTok challenge was eating corn with no hands.
Oh, Lord, man.
You guys got to understand something about Allie. She is way too used to putting up with my bullshit. She doesn't really try to stop it.
No. She's getting used to my bullshit, too, apparently.
All right, we're waiting on a guest.
We are waiting on a guest.
5, 6.
Oh, we do have one question left. Stampede. Fellas, who do you want to see the most as QB1 this year? Just a nice civil
just
discussion.
Throw a grenade right into the show. As I've said before, both outcomes are a good thing, in my opinion. In one way or another, you can find a way to make that seem like a good thing. I would love to see Julian Lewis come in here, take the keys from Shedeur, and just immediately start cooking.
I mean, I would love to see that, too. I think I would also love to see Caden Salter come in and build off his last few years at Liberty that were obviously highly productive. Obviously, he's betting on himself, taking a step up in competition. I would love to see him take over this reins of this team, immediately become a leader, and maybe vault himself into maybe some Heisman consideration with his dual threat ability, which is very unique.
I hate both quarterbacks, apparently, and I don't want to see either of them play, succeed, or do well at all.
Nice.
Thank you.
They're going to clip that, bro.
All right.
I'm sure they are. I mean, they already think I hate someone anyway, so.
I'm told that our guest will be here in 1 minute.
All right.
We wait. We stare. We look around. Still don't see him.
Radio Row's kind of dead today. First day of the week, obviously. And it really just does feel like the beginning of what's going to come.
Yeah, and it always is this way. Day one always kind of slow. As the week goes on, more and more people get here. We'll have some crazy guests as the week rolls on. Maybe even some familiar faces coming down here to join us in New Orleans on the show, not as a guest. So keep your eyes peeled. Stay with us the whole week. We're not wrapping the show, just so you know, but we will be probably shortly after this next interview. So just you never know what could happen. Last year we didn't know we were going to get Coach Prime. We got Coach Prime.
Yep.
We had Shedeur sit down for 15 minutes.
Rolling.
We'll have something fun for sure every day.
We'll have some news to talk about tomorrow, too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Schedule.
Big 12 teased the schedule release tomorrow morning. That'll be fun to dive into.
Huh?
How could you forget?
How could I forget?
By the way, we noticed something in the schedule that we hadn't talked about yet.
Yeah, so if you just go to fbschedules.com where you can just see where this full schedule will eventually be, but you can see all the opponents for this year, there is a gap that we just somehow missed in the non-conference schedule. The Buffs will open the season playing against Georgia Tech on April 30th.
August 30th.
Or August 30th, thank you. They then have another home game the next week, September 6th, against the Delaware Blue Hens. And we thought that the week after would be against Wyoming. Well, if you actually look at these scheduled dates, Delaware is on September 6th. Wyoming is on September 20th. So the Buffs' first Big 12 conference game will be played in between that.
Could be, yeah, for sure. I mean, technically, I guess you could have a bye
You
there.
could, yeah.
But I would guess that we end up seeing a Big 12 game in that slot, which is, I think it will probably help for a TV slot. We get a really good TV slot for that because a lot of times that third non-conference game is just a preseason game for so many teams that if you put a conference game there, the networks will want a piece of that.
Right.
That one will be on national TV, I would assume.
Yep.
100%.
GT is going to be on national TV for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
That might be the best game of first weekend of college football.
Yeah.
Yep. And if Colorado gets off to a hot start, I mean, they could very easily go 12 for 12 again.
Yep.
In national TV games. All right. It's been 4 minutes since he said 1 minute.
All right.
It's New Orleans time, bro.
Well, chat, this is live. This is how it goes.
What else?
If we had seafood yet.
What else? We need to get Scott over to the wing place to participate in the football accuracy challenge.
Yes.
I'll definitely do that.
Yes.
I heard my boy RC breaking records.
RC
bro,
came out hot.
You got to understand, RC had a great performance and also choked at the same time.
He did say that.
So, like, no one's hitting the 500s. Like, you know, I think I hit 3, Jake hit 2. Here comes our guest, so we'll get back to this on the other side. But we got to see what Scotty Pockets can do. I want you to take down RC.
Same.
What's up,
Hey,
guy?
how we doing?
We got Thomas Dimitroff, former Atlanta Falcons.
Get down here on the end.
General manager joining the show.
Either
way.
It's all right. Do whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
Is there a reason for it?
He lost the bet.
Man.
He lost the bet.
They're telling me I lost a bet. I'd like to say I was sabotaged.
Okay.
So it's a long story.
You guys are in Denver?
Yes, sir.
You don't wear that in Boulder or
Yeah.
Denver
No,
on the mountains.
no.
I know that.
He might
I have my home in Boulder. You guys know that, right?
No.
I'm like,
Wow.
I was born
26
and raised
years.
in Boulder.
I love it. What part?
East Boulder.
East
over
Boulder.
by Baseline Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I live in North Boulder, but, yeah, I love it. Actually, I live in Newlands Park now. I live right down, just a couple blocks over.
That's awesome.
I've been there for many years, and, well, I was there for many years. And I drive out there from Atlanta all the time in my Sprinter van. How old are you guys?
I'm 31.
31.
32.
God, you guys.
28.
28. I figured that, right. It goes by fast, remember. When I got the GM job in Atlanta, I was 40 and a half. That just flies by, right? So enjoy what you're doing, right?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Well,
Let me make sure. What are we talking about today, guys?
we're talking about the Colorado Buffaloes.
Oh, good. Okay.
We'll talk about Travis and Shedeur, but, I mean, you've been out in Boulder. Like, what have you seen the last 2 years since Coach Primus showed up out there?
Oh, I mean, look. It's just. I think it's amazing that it's going the way it is, and I talk to people all the time, whether it's football people, alum, or whether it's people in the city who work for Merrill Lynch, whatever. Am I supposed to talk about companies? I mean, big people, like big business people who just love it. They love what he's done for the community that way, and it's funny because as I watch closer, I'm thinking, when is he going to exit, and how will that affect moving forward? How will that affect your AD there, right? And how will it affect the team and the recruiting in time, right? Because I was wondering, he hasn't made a categorical statement whether he's going or staying yet, or is he staying for sure this year?
He's pointed to staying a lot, but he hasn't signed on the dotted line on the extension. So
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Got it.
I wanted to get your perspective from a GM on how you would approach Travis Hunter. Let's say you had an early pick in the draft and you were interested in adding him to your team, which I think most teams are. How would you feel about like the investment that you're putting into a high first-round pick and the thought about using him on both sides of the ball and the potential wear and tear, or just the potential for him to impact both sides of the ball as a pick?
Well, we all know, he's one of the most special players that we've seen in a long time, right? It's so amazing to see that, a la Dion back in the day, right? When you see a guy that can truly do what he's doing, his ability to, have the athleticism, the movement to play both of those positions, which are really difficult positions to play. To play a defensive back in this league is big. I think he has the ability to play both, and I think you do think about playing them both. I don't think about the longevity of this. Is a not-for-long football league in the NFL, and I think as a builder, I would really sit down and make sure that my head coach and I were talking through everything and everyone knew exactly what our parameters were, right? That's big. What you can't do is in any of these things when you're building a football team, you can't be a GM that's kind of half communicating with your head coach, and all of a sudden your head coach is putting that player in a spot that doesn't fit what he does, right? I haven't experienced that very, very quickly. One time we signed a really big-time corner, but he was an up-in-your-face corner. We were playing the cat off like 10 yards or whatever, and it used to drive me nuts. If you're not communicating together as a team builders, you run into a big, big problem. I just think making sure, to your point, this guy can turn around an organization, I believe. I think you just have to be useful proper about how you're using him, of course, but I think you need to. I think you need to be willing to play him anywhere and not just worried about one position, of course.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, would you describe him as a generational prospect?
I do. I think he is. I think he has generational parts there. You guys got all kinds of things moving here. I see. Yeah, there's a lot. When is Mardi Gras? Is this Mardi Gras related? Like, what's the hat there?
Yeah,
guy?
this was another thing that we picked up at the same store.
We had fun last night.
Yeah, got a little wild on Bourbon
night.
Okay, I like it. Sorry, I'm not ADD here at all, but today I'm something moving behind me. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
All right, Scotty.
Thomas, you were the executive of the NFL in 2008. You obviously helped drive Matt Ryan to Atlanta. I'm curious from your unique perspective, when you're evaluating quarterbacks and kind of projecting how their game would translate from college to the pros, what skills, skill sets, traits do you kind of covet most at that quarterback position? And then kind of specifically talking about Shedeur Sanders, how many of those do you see in him from your vantage point?
No, that's a great question. I think one of the big things, I think a lot of people used to think it's all about this big arm, right, to have this gun. That is so untrue. I mean, for me, it starts with true leadership ability. And I'm not talking just the leader of the receivers and running backs who you're getting the ball to. I'm talking about the entire team. I'm talking about Matt Ryan's effect on the defense. I know that sounds odd, but you have to have a well-rounded leadership element to you. I think that's one of the main things, of course, and a presence and an ability to decision-make properly. So you talk about those two things because you can, if you have a bad decision maker, I don't care how athletically inclined he is, that can be funky. What I would also say, though, is it comes down to the accuracy, right? If you're an accurate quarterback and you can spin the ball at all levels, you don't have to have the gun to throw it 80 yards, but you can drop the ball in properly and you can hit those, short to intermediate routes. I think that's great. And by the way, remember, I say this to anyone. You get a first-time quarterback, the best way to get your first-time quarterback in gear, and I would say this about Shedeur Sanders as well, you better have an adept tight end. We brought in Matt Ryan, we drafted in the year after, in 2009, we brought in Tony Gonzalez. And by the way, Tony Gonzalez stayed with us for 5 years. When we were doing the trade, by the way, it was a buddy of mine who I knew well as agent. I'm like, I had some expletives involved, but I said, you better make sure this cat stays with us for longer than a year because I will, we traded a second round for him. He ended up being great for Matt's development is what I'm saying, and I think that's important. So talk about Shedeur. I mean, he's got all kinds of talent. So make sure you have the right people around him so that you can incrementally increase and improve over the years, of course.
Definitely. Love that answer. Love the insights. Thank you. I'm being told you have to run. But I want to let you know, we have our studio in Denver. We're out of a bar, so we'd love to talk about Sumer Sports or something when you're in Boulder. We'll invite you down, have some beers, and talk some more.
Make sure Stopsky gets your numbers because I'd love to do that. I get back there quite a bit. I like drive back and forth and everything. So believe it or not, 24-hour drives I do. But I love it. It's
insane.
my deal. And I'm always up on the mountain.
Appreciate
See you guys.
you, man.
Appreciate you.
guys.
Don't mean you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your energy, guys. Thanks.
There's Thomas Dimitroff.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Oh, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
And I mean it. I hope we get to talk to him longer because what great insight.
No, those are the exact type of people that I got into this for, to talk to those type of guys and pick their mind.
Yeah, and it's just so fascinating. I mean, how often we don't get to have those conversations with people who have really been in those positions to make the big decisions in the NFL often. So,
Bro, that was fascinating, bro, to hear him talk about that tight end spot because I don't think that's something that we've talked about. And obviously, Shedeur didn't throw to tight end much in 2024. Mikey Harrison was obviously involved quite a bit in 2023.
Yep.
But I very much agree with Thomas there. Get him in the spot potentially where he has a really good tight end. And because, again, on third down in the red zone, much like LeJontay Western, obviously he's not a tight end build, but they do the same thing. They work that intermediate part of the field, the short area part of the field. And as I'm thinking about that, the Raiders come to mind.
Yeah.
After drafting one of the best tight ends in the NFL last year.
I thought of it. Right as he said it, I thought of it. And then I tried to push it out the other side of my head.
So we'll see, but I thought that was awesome insight from Thomas for sure.
And, I mean, it seems so obvious, too. You always talk about, great tight end, quarterback's best friend.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you look at these failed high draft pick quarterbacks, and they never got that piece right for them.
Yep.
And that's so genius, too. With Matt Ryan, that's so much a part of his story and his development. Getting Tony G, a veteran, productive leader at that tight end spot, somebody he can rely on. A Hall of Famer, right.
They were just aggressive in that. They went up and got Julio Jones like that. They extended Roddy White. They did all these things, man.
Yeah. I think of Cleveland potentially had two. Obviously, Njoku is one of the best tight ends in the NFL as well.
And, I mean, obviously for Jake and I'm thinking about Bo Nix.
Yep, exactly.
Let's get this guy a tight end, man. Maybe not with the first-round pick, but we need a lot, bro. We need a lot. That was great. Great way to end day one.
For sure. Last-minute super chat from Big TZ.
Jeez. You sound like you don't want to read this, bro.
It's definitely about the jacket, bro.
First off, I'm just saying y'all owe me at least a drink or something for wearing this jacket on the show. This is crazy.
Fair enough.
You're a great sport, man. Yeah. I was actually thinking we should start, like last night when we were doing the punching bag competition, we should start doing all these things. Whoever gets last place got to wear that on the show the next day.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Big TZ says if Jake walks around at night, women may report to you and give you money. Jake, in quotations, bitch better have my money. Schwanitz.
That's crazy.
Hey, I was dead.
The purple backdrop helps too.
Could you just imagine Thomas just walking up to this set and being like, what the hell is this guy got on? Yeah. What am I doing?
But did you hear what he said when he left? I appreciate your energy.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
You go around to these booths and it's just the same old radio show with the same guy asking the same questions.
Yep.
And you come here and you get to see a gold sequin jacket.
Whatever this is.
What is this? We're laughing it up, settling bets. That's what we're all about here.
Thanks.
So who's wearing the jacket tomorrow?
We're gonna have some sort of competition tonight.
Yeah.
I would say we'd make it the football throwing thing, but you're already in last, and you got a college quarterback coming up next. I don't know if I want to do that.
No, we can roll again. I'm down. I was slinging that thing, man.
Oh, you're saying you want another chance?
Y'all can't get two opportunities and I only get one. I had to get two.
Y'all are actually quarterbacks. I don't get two chances against quarterbacks.
I mean, I guess
I mean, you too. If you want a second shot, let's go.
All right.
I'm with it, though.
Or we can just tell RC we actually decided that whoever gets first place has to wear it.
First off, chat, last thing. I mean, we're going to go here soon. But it is remarkable how many people in this building are credentialed to cover this great game and throw the football like they have never watched this sport in their entire life.
Dude, I actually was standing there saying, like, there should be someone here with a pair of scissors, and if you throw like that, they just take your credential, cut that shit in half, and say,
"You're done.
I'm dead.
Be on your way."
I haven't seen nobody do it. That's hilarious.
Like, I wouldn't consider myself Warren Moon.
Right.
But when I throw the football, it looks like I've done it before. There are literally people up there that look like they're holding an object they've never even seen, let alone held and thrown.
It's embarrassing, honestly.
That's a shame.
And you can't say they throw like a girl because there was a girl who went right after us.
She was
throw better.
Absolutely throwing missiles.
Hey, shout out Positive Message Clothing.
Facts.
I brought both of them out here, bro.
I haven't seen my new one yet. Where is it?
I put it on Allie's desk.
I got to get my own desk so this stops happening.
Alrighty, guys. We're going to leave. We got a lot of stuff to do tonight. We got media night. We're going to be out there recording content, so stay tuned from that.
Yeah, make sure you're following DNVR Buffs on Twitter. Make sure you're following DNVR on Instagram. We'll have tons of stuff coming out from there tonight, and then obviously we'll use some of that on the show tomorrow, I'm sure. But media night's all about shenanigans, and no one does shenanigans quite like us.
Period. Is the jacket coming to media night?
I mean,
depends.
It'll help us in our endeavors.
True.
Yeah. All right, chat. We're just getting started out here. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.